today's What's in the Garage video, I got a new boat. Let's get into it. I just wanted a cheap boat for the Morel Park that we crawl at, and sometimes Katie's Woods. It's at a big lake, and well, I decided to get one. So these boats retail for, what side of the box is it on? It says $159.99 on the sticker. I checked their website and it was $149, so I was able to get that $10 knocked off. It's not that big of a deal, but there's two colorways. I got the green, which shows on the side there. On the side here, sticker indicating the colorway. The bottom is foam. The box slides up. It's unlike the other Traxxas style boxes, but comes with a NIM battery. I may or may not use it. It's just a brushed little boat that runs 2S if you swap something out, which I'll show here in a minute. Waterproof receiver box. Basically an XL5, but says Nautica on it with a heat sink. Comes with your TQ radio, a 2056 steering servo, a picture of the motor setup, or the drive gear setup, the prop and everything. And it comes with a brushed motor. I don't remember how many turns it is, but it has a liquid cooling pipe going around it, and there's a water pickup on the back of the boat. So in the box, we've got, it looks like, oh sweet, it comes with a little stand you can prop it up on. Now my box, or this is a brand new one, but it was a display model, so some of the stuff is already opened. Comes with her couple tools, the charger, which I don't need. I've got the Traxxas charger. So I'll set that down there. TQ radio. I've already got enough of these. I'll probably bind it up to my TQI, or I mean, that's a TQ, but it's got a thumb steer, so I might hook it up to that. The TQI, if you don't know, can bind up to 30 models or receivers. Both the TQ and TQI actually have a TQ receiver in the blue truck, a TQI with TSM in the slash now, and then the TQI that comes in the in that truck already. That has the ECM or whatever. It's hooked up to that, but these three trucks are hooked up to it. I might add the boat to my TQI since it's already got a thumb steer, but here's the boat inside the box. Let me pause real quick and I'll take it out. While I was off camera, I went ahead and put the stand together. So here's the boat. Compare size, that's a TRX4 Sport. It's on the Enjoyer chassis. It's shortened up a little bit. I cut the back half off. The frame used to stick out about that long, but it's about 10th scale, I would guess. Here's the running gear in the back, water pickup for the cooling system. Now the cover is held on by a rubber band. Let's go ahead and take that off. That's what it looks like on the inside. Battery is tucked away inside here. Let's see if I can get this out one-handed. It's just their generic NIM battery, NIMH 3000 milliamp, whatever you want to call it. The stock slash I had 7 cells with a hump in the middle, so I don't know if that will fit. What I have heard is you can take this out, because it's not water cooled like the motor is, you can take this out and swap an XL5 in it. I have one right here from my Bronco. It got covered in oil and it doesn't have a battery connector anymore. I could always swap this connector over to it, but I'm not sure if I want to do that. But I do have an XL5 from my Slash that has a connector in there, and what this will do is it'll give you reverse and you can run 2S. I have 2S shorty packs. I could shove them in there, and then LIPOs are a little bit more powerful than your NIM batteries, so that's free power right there. I've already got an XL5, I've already got 2S LIPOs, and I've heard you could put I think the motor, I think it's a 27 turn that comes from the TRX4s in here as well, and give it a little bit more juice. But there's that 2056 servo for the prop, on off switch. Yeah, antenna, battery connector. This is weird, I've never seen that. A 3-wire. I've never seen that before. It's a power wire going straight to the motor instead of to the ESC and then from the ESC to the motor. Interesting. But yeah, that's the boat. Tomorrow I'm gonna go crawling. I'm gonna bring this with me. Made the decision, threw my Slash XL5 ESC in there. Oops, wrong one. Hooked up my TQI remote. So now it's got forward and reverse, steering, all that. And I can't remember off the top of my head if TQs can link with the Bluetooth module. I have the Bluetooth module in my TQI remote, so there might be some stuff I could play around with. One thing to note, if you are going to do what I did, ESC is just held in by double-sided tape, and the on-off is actually a switch. It's not a button like the XL5s. There's 2 little Phillips head screws. Make sure you don't drop them. They came out of right there and right there. Just pulled it out. I had Velcro that I just stuck to this, shoved it in the corner, and then the on-off switch is on the ESC now. I tucked the antenna wire off to the side. Got everything laid out nice and tidy-ish. But yeah, if you don't know how to do what I just did, I need to get like a tripod or something so I can do a POV while working. But essentially, 4 screws right here, 2 mil, 2 screws right here, 2 screws right here, pulls your receiver cover off, and then channel 2, unplug ESC, pull the ESC out, grab an XL5, plug it into channel 2, all 4 screws back on, make sure you do your seal. And then if you want to hook up a TQI, the way I do it, I hook up my battery, there's a set button on the receiver. You hold the set button or sync button or whatever it is, hold that, turn on the model, and then you go to your remote, you'll hold set, turn on the remote. They'll both be blinking red once they hook up. They'll both turn green. You can see down in there, it's green now. Now, I have 4 models on 1 remote, and now I have forward and reverse. So that's pretty sweet. Also, this can run, it's in LIPO mode right now. Make sure you switch your ESC to NIM or LIPO mode. In NIM mode, These can run lower than a LIPO can on voltage. So you'll destroy your LIPOs if you run your XL5 in NIM mode, if you have one of these. But now I can run 2S LIPO. It'll give the motor a little bit more power. I have plenty of brushed motors laying around that I can swap into this thing if I really need to. There's no pinion on it or spur. It's direct drive to a drive shaft that runs all the way back to the prop. And then, so there's no mesh. It's just 2 screws right there and right there. Then you'll have to take the water coil off and all that, but it should be a fun little rig. I can't wait to test it out. That's one thing that sucks about boats, is if you don't have a pool in your backyard or a lake or pond or whatever in your backyard, you kind of buy it, just stare at it until you have the opportunity to run it in water. So when I'm done recording, next you'll see, be out on the water tomorrow. All right, I know there's going to be a lot of water noise, but I decided to come out after the day of crawling. I found a lake that's not too far from my house, so the current is blowing it towards me, so if I manage to lose the boat, it should come towards me. I thought brushed on 2S might be a little bit too slow, but this is actually kind of fun. It's also my first boat, so. Since I have the XL5, it's got reverse. Now, it does bring in a lot of water when I use reverse, so I try not to use it that much. So I'll just kick this thing back around. My shoes aren't waterproof, so I gotta be careful. Pause this real quick. The batteries in my remote died, so luckily I had to bring it back to me anyways. This is a lot of fun. Traxxas 2S LIPO right now. It's a shorty pack, so it doesn't really fit in the boat the best as far as like stability wise. It's only a little bit less than the 3,000 milliamp hour battery that comes with the NIM pack. I've got a bunch of these little batteries, so it should be fine. I apologize if it's really windy. I can't tell right now. I haven't listened to the clips, but I think that should be good for a running video. This boat's a lot of fun. how choppy it is. I want to say traction, but it sometimes it's not going that fast. Oh, LIPO cut out. So I'm gonna slap another pack in and I'm just gonna have some fun. I'll see you guys back in the garage. Welcome back to the garage, guys. Got my dogs running around, so you might hear their tippy tap paws. Well, there's Miss Piggy. So I got done running 2 packs through it, or really 1.5 packs. I had 2200 shorty, 2S LIPOs. I highly recommend throwing an XL5 in there. If you have a Blast and you don't know what to do next to it, or you just want a little bit more juice, definitely get an XL5. Most people, when they upgrade stuff, I brushed the system in my Slash. I had an XL5. That's actually what this is. Pulled it out. Putting one in here lets you run LIPO batteries. This XL5, I think, is only 2S capable. You can't run 3S on it. I tried before and it wouldn't let me to do it. But anyways, so you can run 2S LIPOs now, and you have reverse. I honestly can't remember if I showed reverse in the running video. It's not that great of an idea to have or run reverse too fast. It starts filling up the boat. I did run very briefly a 5,000 milliamp Spectrum 2S battery. It was just a hair too big, and it pushed up on the cover here, and it let too much water in there, and the boat started bogging down. I also took while I was there, I just had a knife and I cut a little hole, but when I got back, I put body reamer in it. I was reading through the manual, and it said to drain water out if water gets in there. Put a little 1/16 inch hole in the front, and you can pick it up, tip it out, and it'll drain all the water that gets inside the boat. I think the next couple things I'll do to it is I gotta look into how many turns this brush motor is, and then I want to say I've heard if you put like the crawler brush motor from a TRX4 or the brush motor from the Slash, the boat will go a little bit faster, not a whole lot. I've got, I think, 3 of those motors. I've got the stock Slash one and 2 of the TRX4 brush motors. I want to say the TRX4s are 27 turns. And then I want to do something about helping this stay maybe a little bit more sealed. The rubber band holds it down enough, but as you saw in the video of me running, the water was really choppy, and when it's hitting jumps and stuff, the lid kind of jostles around and the water gets inside here. Once the back end of the boat gets too heavy, the motor doesn't really have enough power to push it forward, and there's no form of like bilge or bilge pump or whatever to spit the excess water out. And I don't know if I want to put a hole in the back of the boat and let it fill up with water and then drain as it's driving. So I'm just gonna come up with something better to seal the lid, because it's just held on by a rubber band. I did end up flipping the boat once. It was off camera. When I was running the second pack, I just kind of ran it off camera. I just wanted to have fun with it and not focus too much on filming. I actually flipped it over, and luckily the current was coming towards me, and I just had to wait like 2 or 3 minutes. The boat floated towards me, drained all the water out, flipped it back over, sent it back on the water, and it kept running. But it's definitely a great cheap starter boat. I absolutely love it so far. When I was crawling the other day, someone told me that they run their Blast as a recovery boat. So they've got the big Spartan boats that are 4 or 6S capable, real fast, real big. And if those things flip over, one guy said he had like a basket or like a giant pool noodle attached to the front of his Blast, and he'd leave it on, just sitting in the water waiting. When they flip their big boat over, they'd send this one out. So if I decide to get into bigger, faster boats, I think that's what this will turn into. But for now, great starter boat. Highly recommend it. Absolutely love it. They're not new. This one's just new to me. They've been out for a while. If you want one, you can definitely find them on Marketplace. I found a couple of them. They were just a little bit too far. The cost of spending the time to drive, you know, an hour away, or spending the gas to go get one, it was just, I'd rather just get a new one. But if you find someone local, you probably get one really cheap. I saw them for like anywhere from 70 to 90 bucks used on Marketplace. And a lot of them are bare bones, completely untouched. One of them I saw already had the XL5 in it, so if you don't have one, keep an eye out on Marketplace. You definitely get a nice cheap boat. It's a lot of fun. I honestly don't think there's much, you know, that you need to do to these things, especially for the size. Like, it might be a little bit too small to handle crazy high speeds. I don't think it's wide enough to really stay stable, but for what it is, it's a blast. Thanks for watching, guys. Stay tuned for next couple videos I've got. I had a crawler day out at Duck Creek RC. I helped out with a crawling competition, and afterwards we ran the course with our truck, so I got a video coming up on that. Running some hard lines with the Rig Killer Comps RC. Chris from Rig Killers, he's a great guy. Puts on some awesome competitions. So be sure to check that out. And then in one of my next videos, we're gonna do what's in the garage episode on this car. I made a trade deal. If you notice, I don't have my Arma Groms anymore. I got rid of the Granite and the Mojave. I thought this was a all-wheel drive drift car. Turns out it's just a no-name touring chassis, but it's got decent electronics on it. The body came with it was a Lamborghini, and then Stubbs RC and remote control RC. They gave me this cool little body. It's got a little bit of history on it. This body's gone 100 miles an hour before on another car, so I don't really want to cut it up or modify it too much. I'm going to turn this car into a touring car since it's not a drift car, and I might run it for a little bit, see how quick I can make it, and we'll do a video on that here soon. I got a new servo for the mini crawler. I did a little bit of changes on the the shocks, put different oil in it, different springs. As you know, front section of the chassis broke on the Endura. I got some C-hubs to make up for the lost weight I had, and some heavier, I already have brass outer portals, but I wanted to get heavier ones because this truck's starting to roll back now that the weight is all thrown off, which means I can take the brass off of this truck, throw it on the Bronco, get the Bronco to settle down a little bit. Probably have another video on that coming up. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned. Should have some more videos for you guys in the future. Thanks.